Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jacqui, and if you're new to yoga or have only a little experience with it, today's video is for you. We're going to go through a nice basic yoga flow, and I'll give plenty of instructions and we'll take our time. So grab your mat and we'll get started. Let's start in a comfortable seat today, so with our legs crossed, and it doesn't matter if your knees are up here or if they're all the way down here. Just try to find the position that works the best for you. You might even want to grab a pillow and sit underneath that. So starting by lifting up through the spine and grounding down through our sit bones, let's place one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly, and we'll close down our eyes. Taking this moment to arrive on our mat today. And just checking in with how you're feeling. In your mind, any thoughts that might be running through. And also in your body. Any parts that are feeling tight or stiff. And trying to acknowledge all these things without any judgment on yourself. Allowing yourself to let go of any expectations that you might have. And also any comparisons with things that you may have seen. Let that all go and just let your practice be. The way that it is perfect for you right now on your journey. I invite you to take deep breaths in through your nose. Fill your lungs with air and let it travel all the way down into your belly. Expanding on the breath in. And breathing out, bringing your belly back towards your spine. Empty your lungs and let the air travel back out through your nose. Deep inhale. Fill the lungs and expand the belly. And long, slow exhale. Drawing your belly back towards your spine, softening your chest. Air comes out through your nose. Continue in your own time. Listening to the sound of your own breath. Maybe extending your exhale, making it longer than your inhale. Let's take one more breath just like this. Deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. And then coming back to your regular breath. Just acknowledging and noticing the shifts in your mind and your body just from doing a bit of slow breathing. See if you can keep this calmness and this groundedness throughout your practice today. Let's slowly blink open the eyes And we'll start by taking a few side bends. So let's take the right hand out to the side, left arm swings all the way up, and then walk your right fingertips out so we come to bend over on the side. But try to keep pressing down through your left sit bone and your left knee, and also trying to spiral your chest up towards the ceiling so that we're not dropping that left shoulder down towards that right knee. We're still nice and open in the chest. Maybe you take your gaze up towards your left hand. Maybe you take your gaze down towards your right knee or your right hand, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. Nice deep inhales here. And letting the exhale come out nice and slow, just like we did earlier. And on the next breath, let's come back to center. And we'll take the left hand out to the side. Breathing in, reach the right arm over the top, and then walk your left fingertips out. Only to as far as you can still keep your right sit bone and your right knee comfortably pressed down to the mat. Spiral your chest up towards the sky. And see if you can really reach your right fingertips over to the left side of your mat. On the next breath, let's come back up to center. And we'll straighten the legs out in front, coming into a forward fold. So just give the legs a bit of a shake, loosen them out, and then we'll reach the arms up to the sky. Lengthen through your spine, press down through your sit bones. Breathing out, reach your hands forward. Now they might only come to your knees or to your shins, and that's totally fine. You might even be able to reach your toes if you can, that's great. Just come to wherever it feels most comfortable for you. And we're going to take a position where the knees are just nice and soft. So we'll come back to this position at the end of the class in a more active variation. But for now, just take it nice and soft and let your head drop down towards your knees and your shoulders round down towards the earth. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And on the next breath, let's come back up with the body and we'll make our way onto all fours. Wrists are underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. We'll take a few rounds of cat and cow. So let's take a deep breath in and drop the belly down to the mat as you reach your tailbone up to the sky. Your gaze is to the top of your mat in front of you. And as we breathe out, start to scoop in through your belly. This is the action that brings you into your cat pose. Scoop in through the belly. Press the floor away with your hands and then tuck your chin and your tailbone. See if you can really press your shoulder blades up to the sky. Breathing in, dropping the belly down for your cow pose. Lift the tailbone, lift the head. And breathing out, rounding through the spine, scooping in through the belly. The initiation of that movement. And tucking your chin and your tailbone. Breathing in, coming forward again, dropping the belly, and just moving now with your own breath, following your own pace. And you're welcome here also to take any other movements that feel really nice on your body. And just know that there isn't any right or wrong movement. Just do what feels good. Let's take one more breath here. And on the next breath, let's come back to a neutral spine. We're going to do a bit of a shoulder exercise. So make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders still. And then I want you to sink your shoulders down all the way to the mat. So here is a position that is not very strong, and it's not going to help us in any plank positions that we might be taking later. So in order to find that great strong position, press your hands into the mat and press your shoulder blades up to the sky. And you'll find that this is the extreme of sinking your shoulders down. So let's sink them down again, just to find the opposite extreme, and then press the hands into the mat and lift the shoulder blades up to the sky. Let's just do that a couple more times in your own time. Drop the shoulders down and then press them up. And just notice the difference that you feel in the strength in your body when you take these two extremes. One more time, drop them down and then press them all the way up. Now, keeping them pressed up, let's curl the toes under, and we're going to lift the knees off just a couple of centimeters. Now you really got to fight to press the shoulder blades up to the sky. If you feel that you have sunk down to your shoulders, just press them back up. Really press your hands into the mat to help you lift the shoulder blades up. And also try and keep nice and long in your neck, so take your gaze to the top of your mat. Let's hold for another 5. Scoop your belly in. 4, press the shoulder blades up. 3, don't forget your breath. 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's lift the hips up. We'll come into downward facing dog. Now just take a moment to pedal your feet out. Find your breath, reconnect. Feel the earth through your hands and your feet. And then let's come to stillness in downward facing dog. So we have our feet hip width distance apart, hands are still shoulder width apart. Let's bend the knees so that we can find this nice straightness through the spine. So if you found a bit of a curl, try and think about tilting your tailbone up to the sky, or maybe even your sit bones towards the back of your mat. Bend your knees as much as you need to allow this to happen. And we want that same pressing of the floor away with the hands. And when you do that, you'll notice that your shoulders actually come up to your ears, and that is totally fine in this position. It's actually a great position to help us get into those more fun and tricky positions like handstands. So then let's bend the knees even further, look towards your hands, and we'll take baby steps with the feet all the way up to your hands. Feet are hip width distance apart, soften through the knees, hold on to opposite elbows and take a ragdoll here. So you're really releasing everything in the upper body, and you might like to take a sway from side to side. Let your head, arms and shoulders hang down towards the earth, nice and loose. And then let's release the hands down, soften through the knees even more, lift up through the arches of your feet, and we'll roll up slowly from the base of the spine all the way to the top. Now let your arms and your shoulders and your head hang here until the very last moment, and take all the time you need. Your head will be the very last thing to come up. And when we reach the top, we'll come into a couple of sun salutations to warm up. So let's step to the top of the mat, feet together. So I've got the big toes touching and heels are slightly apart. Arches are nice and lifted. Let's take a breath in and we'll circle the arms up to the sky. So lift up here and try and find a bit of length through your entire body. Breathing out, soften through the knees a little bit and then fold forward. Bring your upper body down, hands come down to the mat. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Let's take a breath in, and then you might like to draw your hands up your shins as you come into a flat back. Roll the shoulders back, scoop in through the belly, and again try to tilt the tailbone up to the sky or your sit bones towards the back of your mat. And then take your gaze also to the top of your mat so your neck is nice and long. Breathing out, let's bring the hands to the mat. Step the right foot back and then the left. So we're coming into a high plank position. So in this position, we've got our pelvis tucked under slightly so that our core is engaged. When you tuck the pelvis under slightly, you'll feel a lengthening in the back side of the body and then a very compact and strong front side. And again here, try not to sink into the shoulders. Press the floor away just like we did earlier. And then try not to let the bum stick up. So tuck that under. Everything is one nice straight line from the top of your head to the heels of your feet. Now let's bring the knees down to the mat and then lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Everything arrives at the same time and keep the elbows glued to the sides of your body. Take a breath in, untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet into the mat, lift the kneecaps up. Breathing in, roll the shoulders back, lift the head, and then lift the chest. This is your baby cobra. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then breathing out, forehead comes to the mat. Shift yourself back onto your knees, tuck the toes, and then lift the hips up back to your downward facing dog. Hold here for one breath. Bend the knees, lengthen the spine, tilt the tailbone. And then let's bend the knees, look towards your hands. Step your feet all the way in between your hands. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Breathing in, lift up halfway, flat back. Draw the hands up your shins, roll the shoulders back. Find a nice straight spine. Breathing out, hands come down to the mat, fold forward. Breathing in, circle the arms, lift the body back up to the sky. Breathing out, hands come down to your heart center in a prayers position. Okay, let's do that one more time. Breathing in, circle the arms up. Breathing out, soften the knees and fold forward. Breathing in, lift up halfway to your flat back. Draw your hands up your shins, roll the shoulders back, scoop in through the belly. Breathing out, hands on the mat, step the left foot back and then the right high plank. Find that nice straight position. Press the shoulder blades up to the sky. Scoop in through the belly. And then let's lower the knees down. And then lower the body all the way down. Everything arriving together on the mat. Nice job. Breathing in, untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Roll the shoulders back and lift the head and the chest. Breathing out, forehead comes back down. Shift your weight back. Tuck the toes and then lift the hips, downward facing dog. Holding here for one breath. Soften through the knees, lengthen through your spine. Press the floor away with your hands. Take this moment to reconnect with your breath and your foundation through your hands and your feet. On the next breath, let's bring the right knee into the chest. And then place the foot in between your hands. Now you might need to take a step and then use your other hand to just bring it forward. So it comes all the way in between the hands. We'll drop the back knee and then untuck the toes. And then just bring yourself upright. Hands can come to your knees or to your hips. And we'll just take a moment to find this low lunge position. So if you've noticed that your right hip most likely has shifted forward, just press it back and press the left hip forward. And likewise, if you've lifted the right hip up, try to press it down so that the hips are square and in line. And then we want a slight scooping under of the pelvis. So we're not arching through the spine. We're going to lengthen down to the tailbone and then compact in the front. So we're really squeezing the core. Now that you've found this position, let's bring our weight forward a little bit. Try and keep that same position as you come forward. And then back. And forward. And back. Don't forget your breath as well. Really important to always stay connected with your breath. One last one. And coming down, bring the hands onto the mat on either side of your right foot. Let's curl the left toes under, lift the knee off the mat, straighten as much as you can, and we'll come into our high lunge. So really press the feet into the mat And then we'll reach the arms up to the sky, keeping that right leg bent. The left leg can also bend if you're finding it's a little hard on your lower back. So again, let's try and find that position. Hips are square. So if you had two lights on your hip bones, they'd be pointing directly to the top of your mat. Try to soften the shoulders down as you reach the fingertips up. And also make sure that your right knee is in line with your hips and your toes and it hasn't fallen out of alignment into the center. So nice and strong in this position. Breathing out, really press firmly into your feet or bring the body 45-degree angle forward as the hands shift back. Palms are facing down, energy through the fingertips, they're spread wide, shoulders are rolled back and down. Breathing in, reach the arms and the body back up to center. Try and find that scooping of the pelvis. Breathing out, shift the body forward, 45-degree angles, arm to either side. Breathing in, reach up. Nice job. One last time. Breathing out, 45-degree angle. Breathing in, reach the arms up. And breathing out, let's come into warrior two. So we turn the left foot so it's parallel with the side of the mat. We can bring our hands down to our hips just for a moment. Right leg stays bent and you might just need to shuffle it forward so that if you draw a line from the right heel all the way to the back foot, it reaches the center arch. So bend through the right leg, press through the outside edge of that left foot, and try and find a little bit more straightening through this left leg. So I'm really pulling the muscles up above that left kneecap. And then from here, float your arms to either side so they're parallel with the mat. Fingers are spread wide, nice and strong, and energy through the fingertips. Turn your head towards your right fingertips. On the next breath in, let's straighten through the right leg, flip the right palm to the sky, and then sweep it back. Left hand comes to the left thigh, and we take a side bend here. This is your reverse triangle. So again, pull up the muscles above the right kneecap, reach the right fingertips up to the sky, and then breathing out, let's cartwheel the right arm down, left arm comes over top, bend the right leg, hands come down to frame the left foot, the right foot, sorry, then the left foot turns. I'm back onto the ball of the foot, left hand comes down to the mat underneath the left shoulder, right arm reaches up, easy twist. Maybe you can sink your hips down a little bit further and try and find an opposite energy here, pressing down through the left hand as you rise up and reach up with the right. Let's take a breath out. Right hand comes back down, framing the right foot. Press the floor away, find that pressing of the shoulder blades up to the sky, and then step the right foot back, high plank. Lift up through the core, lengthen through the backside. Let's bring the knees down, and then we'll lower halfway to your Chaturanga Dandasana. Elbows stay glued to the sides of the body. Everything comes down halfway in one plank position. And then let's lower the hips down, untuck the toes, breathe in, Cobra pose. So we're rolling the shoulders back, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, squeezing the shoulder blades together and lifting the chest. Breathing out, lift the hips back, tuck the toes under, and then come back to your downward facing dog. Let's hold here for a couple of breaths. If you felt like you lost your breath through that last flow, this is the time to find it again. Soften through your knees and lengthen through the spine. Press the floor away with your hands. All right, on the next breath, let's bring the left knee into the chest. Place the foot in between the hands, using your hand to help it there if you need to. Drop the right knee and untuck the toes and then shift your hips back. Hands can come to your hips or onto your knees. Try and find the square hips, so level and in line. Tuck the pelvis under slightly, lengthen through the tailbone, lift through the front side. And breathing out, shift the weight forward, keeping that exact same position of the pelvis. Breathing in back, breathing out forward, breathing in back. Moving in your own time. And one last time, bending all the way down, hands come down to frame the left foot. Curl the right toes under, lift the knee off, straighten through that back leg a little bit more if you can. And then pressing firmly with the feet into the mat, breathe in, reach the arms up, high lunge. Bend the right leg a little bit more, your back leg if you need to. Try and find that position with the pelvis, and also the way your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips, so they're not coming forward. So you might need to bend the back knee a little bit more to find that. And then breathing out, body shifts forward, 45-degree angle, arms come to either side. Scoop in through the core, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathing in, reach the arms back up. And breathing out, coming forward, 45-degree angles, energy through your fingertips. Breathing in, reach the arms back up. Just take a moment, notice where your left knee is. Is it in line with your hips and your toes, or has it fallen in the center? Bring it back in line. Breathing out last time, body comes forward, 45-degree angle. And breathing in, reach the arms up. Let's come to warrior two. Turn the right foot parallel with the short side of the mat. Let's bring the hands to our hips, and then maybe shuffle that left foot just a little bit over. Draw that line from the heel of the left foot to the arch of the right foot. Pull up through the right kneecaps, press through the outside edge of that foot, bend down through the left leg. Knee in line with the hips and the toes. And then let's bring the arms to either side. And take notice here this time if you've got your body forward or back. If so, just bring it nicely in center between both your legs. On the next breath, let's straighten through the left leg and then turn the left palm to face the ceiling. Breathing out, sweep that left arm up as you bring the right arm down towards your right thigh. Reverse triangle. Pulling up through both kneecaps, scooping in through the core, reaching the left fingertips towards the back of your mat. Breathing out, cartwheel the left hand down, right arm comes over top, and we bend down through the left leg. Hands come to the mat and then turn the right foot in. So now we're on the ball of the right foot, and you might need to shuffle a little bit just to find that position. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, breathing in. Left arm reaches up. Maybe you sink a little bit deeper into the hips. And let's breathe out, hand comes down to the mat. Step back, high plank. Press the shoulder blades up to the sky first, and then step back. And then let's lower the knees down. Halfway, Chaturanga Dandasana. Elbows glued to the sides of the body. Breathing in. Let's lower the hips down, untuck the toes, lift the body up. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Roll the shoulders back and down. Open up through your chest. Breathing out, bend the knees, shift the hips back, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Really nice job. Let's come straight into a child's pose this time, bringing the knees wide, toes together, sit your hips back onto the heels of your feet, and then walk your hands forward. Drop your chest and your forehead down to the mat. Find your breath here. Nice deep inhales and long, slow, controlled exhales, just like we did at the beginning of class. And on the next breath, let's come back up. With the head, walk your hands towards your body and come to sit down and place your legs straight out in front of you. We're coming back to our seated forward fold. Give your legs a bit of a shake. Okay, and then make sure you're sitting nice and high on your sit bones. This time we're taking the active version of the pose. So we'll flex our feet, pull the muscles up above the kneecaps, and then press the back of the knees into the mat. Breathe in. Raise the arms up. And then breathing out. Try to hinge forward from your hips. So we're keeping a nice straight back, just like we've been doing with our flat back and our downward facing dog. Just come as far as you can still keep that position, and then place the hands down to wherever they reach. It really doesn't matter wherever they reach, but you might find that it's coming a little bit further this time compared to at the beginning of class. And the more you do this, the more you'll find that flexibility comes. This, I feel, is one of the poses that you really see an improvement really quickly the more you do it. So take one more breath here. And on the next breath, lift yourself back up and then shuffle your bum forward with the knees bent. Place your hands directly in forward. The feet are now hip-width distance apart. And then keep reaching forward with your fingertips as you curl through your lower spine and suck in through the belly. And then lower yourself all the way down to the mat as you keep reaching your fingertips forward. So nice and slow and controlled. And press the feet into the mat as much as you can. Nice job. All the way down to the mat. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little from side to side. Release out any tension in your lower back. And let's come to a happy baby. Flex the feet. Bring the soles of the feet up to the sky. Hands come through the center of your legs. So elbows are on the inside of both knees. And then hands will come to the outside edges of both feet. And then try to bend the knees as much as you can and get that nice stretch through the hips. If this is a little intense, you can bring your feet closer towards your pelvis. This also feels really nice. Whichever position you're in, try to press your sacrum, so that's the lowest part of your spine, into the mat. And you also might like to take a gentle sway from side to side. And whenever you're ready, let's come into Shavasana. So release the legs, straighten them to the outside edges of your mat. Arms come to either side with your palms facing up. Micro tuck of the chin to lengthen through your spine, and then close down your eyes. Take another couple of deep breaths here. Find that relaxation through your entire body. Relaxing and loosening everything from your toes and your feet, your lower legs, knees, thighs. Allow your hips to feel heavy. Soften through your belly. Relaxing your fingers, hands, lower arms, upper arms. Softening through your chest, sinking down through the backs of your shoulders. Long in your neck. And sinking your head down into the earth. Relaxing all the muscles in your face. And slowly bringing your awareness back to your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your ankles and your wrists. Let's take the arms up overhead. Take one last stretch all the way from your fingertips to your toes. And then rolling over to your favorite side. Curling up into a ball and using your arms as a pillow. Staying here for just a moment. And then keeping your eyes closed if you can. Slowly come back up to a seated position. Ground down through your sit bones, lifting up through the body, roll the shoulders back and down, and then bring your hands to a prayers position in front of your heart. Press your thumbs into your heart. And just take a moment to thank yourself for coming to practice today, for starting out on a new journey and trying something new. And just looking back at the practice that you had today, notice any thoughts that may have come up, any comparison that you may have made to anyone else or anything that you've seen. And just remembering to be kind to yourself. You are in the perfect place in your journey. And slowly blinking open the eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's flow and that it inspired you to continue practicing more yoga. I would love to know how you're feeling after today's flow, so please leave a comment down below. And if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and help me to spread more free yoga for everyone by subscribing to my channel and hitting the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new video uploads. Until next time, namaste.